Hello, this is Nitin Dahad at the ICA Summit in Frankfurt, and I'm here today with Kanwar Bharat, who's with Goodyear, and Frank Schmidt with ZF Group. Hello, Kanwar and Frank.
Hi, Nathan. Nice to
Hello,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
So you give an interesting opening talk at the conference around tire intelligence as a means of plugging into the whole software-defined vehicle things. Or I think you actually said something else, but maybe come on, start with you. Tell us what you mean by tire intelligence.
Sure. Yeah, we were excited to talk about our suite of tire intelligence technologies, which one can think of a software-defined tire solution now for vehicle control systems. So what we presented today was the collaborative work we do with ZF on integrating tire intelligence with vehicle control systems and really look at this as the next frontier now for vehicle chassis control, where you could deliver enhanced vehicle performance and better handling performance.
And I think one of the points you made is some of the real data is actually with the tire connecting with the road. There's a lot of data that maybe is not used right now, which could be used. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, for many years, there's been a vision to have a feedback loop between the tire and the control system. And I think it's quite intuitive now to see that actually happen, where tires being the only point of contact with the road give you a lot of valuable information about the dynamics of the car, the road conditions, and that's the work we do with ZF there. We try and feed that information back. There's a feedback loop for the controller, and the controller then can act in the most optimal manner.
Now, before I go to Frank, so I mean, you've got these standard TPMS, which is already in the cars. So what you're doing is, are you feeding from that, or are you putting additional sensors in?
What we have as part of our technology is what we call as a tire-mounted TPMS. So you essentially take the TPMS system that's available in production cars. The hardware is quite similar, but you actually put that on the tire this time, which gives you that extra stream of information, because with TPMS you had pressure, temperature, but with these systems you have a much richer feed. You've got information about tire deflections, footprint, contact area, tire vibrations. So I would call it TPMS next generation, where you fulfill the TPMS requirements, but you deliver a lot more information by moving it onto the tire.
Okay, now so this data is fed into Sightline, which is your technology, and then that feeds into a software framework called Cubix, which is developed by ZF. So tell us a little bit about that, Frank.
So when it comes to Cubix, that is the product that ZF has developed over the past years. And Cubix is a software that handles vehicle dynamics. And up to now, until we started the cooperation with Goodyear, we always had to assume what the tire was doing. Now, with the know-how, the knowledge of Goodyear, we actually know what the tire is doing. And that really helps us in improving features and functions that we had already developed. And it was an enabler for features that we had on our vision, but that we were not able to develop because we were missing inputs and information that we now have with Goodyear.
Now, with these virtual sensors that feed into Cubix, you can sort of actuate quite a lot of features. You gave a couple of examples in your presentation, which was aquaplaning, and just tell us a little bit about how that works and some of the other features.
So hydroplaning, that was the one feature that was an example in our speech here. That is one of the features that was enabled by information from Goodyear. So we know that when it comes to hydroplaning, very often accidents happen. Drivers are losing control over their vehicle, and from the vehicle dynamics aspect, we actually knew what to do, how to prevent that, but we didn't know when was hydroplaning occurring. And now we know that. The information comes from Sightline, and now our competence comes in to stabilize the vehicle, to make sure the car is safe, even in this, let's say, terrifying condition.
And just to make it clear, there's a real-time closure on that feedback loop, isn't there?
Of course, yes. That's exactly what it is, yeah.
With the actuators.
With the actuators. I mean, we are connected to all the actuators that you have on a chassis, which is, of course, like the braking system. You have that on every single car. On other cars, you might have a rear wheel steering that you can use to actuate, front wheel steering in some cases, especially when it comes to steer-by-wire in the future, and also like active damping and all these other chassis features. Not to forget the drivetrain, of course.
And when we were talking earlier, I think, Frank, you were talking about how this enables a lot more features because of these well, the sensor information, but also your smart actuators, and it sort of unlocks a lot more from the Cubix. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly right. The two examples that we gave in our speech, that was really only examples. The list of features we are working with is a lot longer, really a lot longer. And also we are fine-tuning features that we have already developed, that we even have launched. But when it comes to use additional information from the tires, we can really fine-tune these features.
And so now, what's next, Kanwar? So this is still in sort of pilot trial phase, I guess. When do we see deployment? I think you talked about 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, I think what we can share at this stage is we've got some interesting technical pilots ongoing with customers, pretty advanced. So I think for the next 12 months, the intent is to take these features to the right level of maturity where they can be integrated into production cars. But this is well beyond a pure proof of concept. That's what I would say. This is very much production intent. That's the work. Cubix is already in market on certain platforms. Sightline now, the work we do with them, the intent is to bring it all together and hopefully take it to some of the new generation software-defined cars. And Nitin, I just want to emphasize one thing. We spoke a lot about tire sensors. What we demonstrated today was actually a virtual sensing solution. So in that case, the Sightline offering also uses existing sensor feeds on the car.
Got it. And I think, maybe I didn't sort of allude to that. It's all part of this bigger sensor fusion story.
Absolutely. I mean, you put it correctly. It's truly sensor fusion, using existing sensor feeds on the car, wheel speeds and other signals, hosting all of these applications in the ZF electronic control unit.
So are you driving a car with these tire intelligence already?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do a lot of testing, and just to give you a data point, I mean, tire intelligence, the solution has been now in the market for about 18 months on the fleet side.
Okay.
So this is now the control system work, but on the fleet side, we've had this in the market on a few thousand vehicles. So a lot of testing, real world testing, understanding the performance. We've gone through those iterations.
Well, Kanwar and Frank, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.